What if astronauts couldn't endure the crushing forces of a wormhole? Facing this, humanity creates robotic vessels powered by human consciousness, sending them into the unknown. Through this fusion of mind and machine, they find alien beings who gift them an extraordinary prize, a new habitable Earth. At the start of the movie, we're introduced to Jillian, a senior leader at the world's foremost astronomical institute, the space agency. She's being interviewed about her career and life, and her daughter joins to express how proud she is of her mother's work. However, the interview is abruptly interrupted when Jillian receives an urgent call from the agency, and she has to rush back to her duties. The scene shifts to footage from the International Space Station, recorded by astronaut Jim Marcel. During a routine spacewalk to repair equipment outside the station, Jim and the crew begin to pick up interference in their radio signals. Jim reports seeing unusual lights, which other crew members also notice, though there were no anticipated cosmic events that could explain this phenomenon. As the lights grow more intense, the station begins to shake. Jim attempts to return to the safety of the station, but suddenly his communication cuts out, leaving mission control in silence. Back on Earth, Jillian reviews the footage with a solemn expression, revealing that similar disruptions were recorded by satellites around the globe at the same moment. Sadly, Jim could not be located and is presumed lost in space. Charles, the head of mission control, grieves for his friend's apparent loss. A specialized team meticulously analyzes the footage, frame by frame, hoping to find any clue about Jim's disappearance. Yet the cause of the mysterious phenomenon remains as elusive as ever. Alex, the head of exploration missions, addresses the mysterious anomaly, explaining that it had appeared several decades ago, but vanished before they could gather more information. Jessica, a cosmologist with expertise in gravitational waves, is brought in to help investigate further. Remarkably, the team has discovered that the anomaly emits a form of gravitational wave, a phenomenon previously thought to be impossible. The scientists have nicknamed this anomaly the void. Alex describes the void's appearance as being similar to the remnants of a supernova. However, its close proximity to Earth rules out the possibility of it being an exploded star. To add to the mystery, they've detected a brief radio wave signal at a precise frequency of 1,420 megahertz. Jakob, an astrophysicist from the University of Astrophysics, recalls a similar signal previously discovered by radio astronomers known as the WOW signal. Since then, astronomers have tried tirelessly to trace its source. Driven by curiosity, the team decides to send reconnaissance probes into the void. In the control room, the scientists monitor the progress as the probe cautiously approaches the anomaly. As soon as it crosses into the void, however, communication is lost. Thankfully, they had anticipated this and set up high-speed servers on Earth to capture the probe's footage in real time. Charles shares that they managed to record a brief but crucial glimpse of the void's other side. At a subsequent meeting, Jillian reveals the images collected from the probe. The team observes matter moving in and out of the void, leading them to suspect that it could be a wormhole. Eager to uncover more, they continue sending probes, gradually collecting clearer images that reveal the presence of another planet on the far side of the void. Jessica puts forward a theory that the void could be humanity's first encounter with intelligent life from beyond, while Alex voices his concerns, warning that humanity lacks the capacity and resources for an extensive investigation. The scientists engage in a heated discussion over their next steps. Jillian proposes sending astronauts into the void, but Charles firmly objects, emphasizing that they can't risk more human lives. Jillian acknowledges his point, but argues that probes alone can't provide the necessary data, especially since communication is consistently lost once they cross into the void. She underscores the importance of establishing contact with anything that enters the anomaly. Alex agrees, suggesting that the void could represent the most monumental discovery in human history. Ultimately, they decide to approve a full-scale mission into the void. Jillian stresses that the potential existence of a habitable planet on the other side is far too valuable to ignore. Professor Jakob, however, is highly skeptical, voicing his doubts about the mission's feasibility. He argues that the human body wouldn't withstand the intense forces involved in wormhole travel and advises relying on probes or robotic technology instead. Soon after, an unexpected development occurs. The void begins to emit a peculiar dark smoke that coalesces into thousands of spheres, visible in the skies worldwide. Public panic ensues, and even the space agency is left bewildered. Over the past few weeks, Jillian and her team have also detected invisible waves emanating from the void around the same time the dark orbs began to appear, deepening the mystery surrounding the anomaly. The waves emanating from the void have grown rapidly, and simulations indicate that a massive cosmic storm may soon be unleashed. The scientists believe that, when it reaches Earth, this storm will flood the planet planet with an immense cosmic wave. Near a forest, armed forces establish a base directly beneath one of the dark orbs, hovering ominously in the sky. In response to this escalating situation, the space agency collaborates with the U.S. military on a project to create a humanoid powered by the preserved brains of astronauts. Alice, a synthetic engineer, introduces this ambitious initiative, known as the Human 2.0 project. This humanoid, designed with the same organic composition as a human, will serve as a vessel for an astronaut's consciousness. Inside the lab, Alice demonstrates by opening a compartment in the robotic human's head where the brain will be placed. She explains that the suit's material is embedded with millions of tiny neurofibers, allowing the brain to control the body. She compares this empty humanoid to a computer waiting for its hard drive. In the following days, Jillian and her team interview potential candidates for this mission, informing them that the transfer to Human 2.0 is irreversible. Jessica is invited to participate, but she declines, believing she lacks the necessary qualities and courage for such a mission. The space agency then assembles a group of candidates to undergo rigorous physical, mental, and emotional evaluations to determine their suitability for this unprecedented role as humanity's ambassadors. Dr. Koresh Patel explains the science behind the transfer, noting that the suit has the potential to significantly extend human life. However, limitations still exist, as the mind is vulnerable to deterioration over time. The brain will connect to an artificial spinal cord, ensuring a seamless mind-body interface. Among the candidates, Carl Roberts stands out with his exceptional cognitive abilities. Carl, who is disabled and unable to walk, is thrilled at the chance to regain full mobility in this new body. Alex is impressed by Carl's dedication and passion for pushing humanity forward. At the transplant facility, a scan is taken of Carl's face, which will be used to create an identical likeness for the Human 2.0 suit. The suit itself is crafted from military-grade graphene, woven to create a shell that is both flexible and virtually impenetrable. Its vision system is equipped with nano-optics, allowing optimal sight in any lighting condition. An integrated breathing mechanism helps regulate temperature and provides a familiar sense of respiration for the host. Additionally, a custom compound is injected into the suit to sustain the brain's function and health over time. The spacecraft designated to carry Carl has been streamlined for maximum speed and minimal weight, with all traditional life support technology removed since Human 2.0 is self-sustaining. Specialized connectors will link to the humanoid, monitoring its condition and transmitting vital information to the brain. Alex, focused on making peaceful contact, has developed a hard drive containing comprehensive knowledge about Earth, hoping this data will foster communication and understanding with any alien life forms they encounter. At the transplant facility, Dr. Koresh and his team prepare Carl for the complex procedure, which will span about 3 days. Carl will remain sedated with a steady dose of anesthetics throughout. In a heartfelt final interview, Carl reflects on his past and becomes emotional as he speaks of his father, the person most important to him. He dedicates his mission to his father before drifting into sleep. Meanwhile, the team continues their investigation into the dark spheres. The space agency has placed a strict ban on any hostile actions toward the orbs until they can understand their connection to the void. Hundreds of these spheres have now appeared worldwide, forming an unusual pattern as though in preparation for something. 3 days later, Dr. Koresh shares the devastating news of Carl's passing. His brain failed to integrate with the artificial spinal cord, as his biology was incompatible with the suit's organic materials. The team is left grieving, yet they must continue the search for a new candidate. To avoid a similar outcome, Alice reconfigures Human 2.0 comma planning to introduce organic cells from the next candidate directly into the suit's material to improve compatibility. Meanwhile, Alex proposes sending robotic soldiers into the void, aware that time is slipping away. But Jillian hesitates, concerned that such an action might be perceived as threatening by any alien life they might encounter. Scientists discover that employees at the agency have undergone extensive health evaluations to ensure protection against the hazardous materials present in the facility. Through this, they identify 3 candidates with a biological profile compatible with the Human 2.0 project. Jessica is one of these 3. The following day, Jessica meets with Jillian to discuss her reservations. Although she recognizes that her expertise would greatly contribute to the mission's success, she is apprehensive about the permanent transfer to a robotic body. Jillian reassures her, promising that her family will be cared for if anything happens. After careful reflection, Jessica finds the courage to accept the mission. Alex attempts to dissuade her, noting that 2 other candidates could fill the role, but Jessica is confident she's the most qualified. In his assessment, Alex voices concerns about Jessica's suitability ability for such a critical mission. Jillian, however, defends Jessica, arguing that her insatiable curiosity and capacity to see beyond the obvious make her an ideal leader for the mission. Days after the transfer procedure, Jessica awakens, successfully integrated with her new form. Her brain accepts the vessel, marking a breakthrough for the team. Jillian and her colleagues observe with satisfaction as Jessica, visibly pleased, is essentially reborn. Although she has survived, Jessica's stability is still in progress. Adjusting to her new environment proves challenging, and she struggles with speech and basic motor functions. Alice reassures her that the team is working on these issues, promising that she will soon be fully operational. Eventually, Jessica regains her ability to speak and reflects on her transformation, feeling simultaneously familiar and changed. Her entire consciousness has transferred successfully, and now her final hurdle is physical rehabilitation. The launch day arrives, and Jessica is accompanied by a robot soldier aboard the spacecraft. As the rocket ascends, it breaks through Earth's atmosphere, carrying Jessica into the unknown. Mission Control establishes a link with Jessica, granting them access to her visual feed. As her spacecraft crosses into the void, Jessica describes her surroundings in awe, noting the beauty of the void. However, as they approach deeper, the pressure intensifies, and her readings suddenly spike. The void begins to distort her surroundings, and as her ship crosses fully into the anomaly, Mission Control loses the signal, leaving Jessica on her own. With no way to reach her, all they can do is hope. Jillian holds on to the belief that they may return within a year, though she also braces for the possibility of no return. Just 1 week after launch, radar unexpectedly detects Jessica's craft re-entering Earth's atmosphere, eventually crashing into the Atlantic Ocean. The rapid return shocks everyone, as no one anticipated such a short trip. When the team retrieves the ship, they find Jessica alone. There's no trace of the robot soldier. Within the space agency, opinions are divided. Jillian views the mission as a success, while Alex argues that it may be a failure, even suggesting it could be a warning from an alien civilization. Jessica, unconscious, is placed in quarantine, and her condition remains uncertain. The technology in her suit reveals a surprising discovery. Her brain holds years of memories despite her absence lasting only 5 days. The team begins decoding the data, attempting to transform her memories into visual footage, but the feed remains unclear. Meanwhile, tensions around the dark orbs escalate. The military, frustrated and alarmed, fires at the spheres, only to see them absorb every attack, completely unaffected. Jessica briefly regains consciousness, but fades quickly as the memory extraction process delays her recovery. Desperate for answers, Jillian speaks with the unstable but awake Jessica, who recounts a disturbing event. She explains that the robot soldier suddenly vanished from the craft, drifting away as if something had taken him. She recalls a blinding flash of light emerging from his arm before she lost sight of him. Jessica recounts how her ship eventually crashed on an unknown planet. She explored the terrain, touching the rocks, soil, and flowers, marveling at the alien environment. During her journey, she encountered dark smoke, resembling the phenomenon seen in Earth's skies. Suddenly, she was transported to a white room where the shadowy presence shifted form and approached her. Jessica saw Jim Marcel, who reassured her repeatedly, saying everything would be all right. Cryptic messages were somehow transmitted into her mind, and this is all Jessica can recall. Jillian and the team at the space agency are astounded by her account. If Jessica's experience is genuine, it could mean that the alien beings are not hostile. Alex, however, remains skeptical, suggesting that the aliens' advanced technology might have manipulated her memories. Later, time-lapse footage captures a dramatic scene of celestial bodies disintegrating as white smoke envelops them, causing them to crumble. The International Space Station alerts the space agency of fragments descending toward Earth. Suddenly, the dark orbs begin to shift, surrounding the planet in a dense protective mist that forms a dome to intercept the incoming debris. The agency celebrates as they witness the mist shielding Earth. Both Jillian and Alex realize how wrong their initial fears had been. What they once saw as a threat has, in fact, become their unexpected savior, revealing how deeply fear of the unknown had clouded their judgment. Jessica eventually reaches a stable condition, allowing her memories to be displayed clearly. She recalls that the shadow beings told her they intervened to save humanity after reviewing the hard drive she carried, which shared Earth's story. The shadows had judged humanity worthy of protection, despite its flaws. They departed with a message, saying they would return in the future. Jessica explains that all recent events are part of a cycle cycle orchestrated by these aliens to purify and maintain balance in the universe. Not long afterward, Jim Marcel is unexpectedly found in the Arizona desert. Military helicopters transport him to the space agency, where scientists try to learn about his experience beyond the void. However, Jim has no memory of what happened. As the void and the mysterious smoke dissipate, scientists observe strange activity above Earth's atmosphere. The void's remnants swirl into a cloud of gas and dust, gradually forming a new planet. This event defies known laws of physics, as creating a planet this way was thought impossible. Surprisingly, the planet is habitable, and Alex describes it as seemingly designed with humans in mind. The team names it Earth 2. After much preparation, Earth launches a mission to send numerous humanoids to colonize this new world, viewing it as humanity's second chance. There's hope that this fresh beginning will inspire people to strive for a better future and prove their worthiness for survival. 12 months after the void's disappearance, Jillian reflects that it still feels present, as though the aliens are quietly watching over them. The space agency has just launched its first manned expedition to Earth 2, with the hope that this initial generation will help ready the planet for future generations of humans to make it their home.